Hi, everyone. Welcome. It's Tracy with the Gather Community, and I am here with the fabulous and gorgeous Theresa Ream. Theresa and I have known each other for, gosh, I guess it's probably about 4 years now, ever since I joined an organization that she was president of at the time, Professional Women's Network. And I was immediately attracted to her as an amazing woman, amazing business leader, owner of many, many companies, like doing all of these things. And I was just like smitten, drawn to her. And what I've learned since then is that she is a kind and generous soul and wants to help women, uplift women, no matter where she sees a need. And that is absolutely how you show up every day, my friend. And I'm really excited that you're here with us in the Gather community as a creator. This is new. We're recording this here at the end of September, but we've known each other for all this time. So I'm so excited that you decided to jump in because you've added another business to all of your businesses: Feminine Wiles coaching, mentorship programs, however you want to describe them. So I want to ask you to give us a little bit of background on how you got here, how you decided to start Feminine Wiles after everything that you've already accomplished and already still do, and give us a little bit about what it's looking like these days. So tell us all about it.
Oh, thank you, Tracy. It's so good to be here, and I'm so excited to be a creator in your Gather community. It's something that I've been, uh, kind of peeking over the fence at and looking at, and this time when we were up in San Francisco together, I decided, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this if she'll have me. So.
Yeah, and of course, I'm so thrilled.
Yes, love it. So, with my coaching business, it's about a year old now, and I've always coached. I've had my oldest business, disaster cleanup specialist, for 44 years, and you can imagine I've done a lot of coaching.
Hmm.
And I've been the president of the Professional Women's Network here and there throughout the years since 2006. Probably the longest term president ever that they've had, which was 4 years at one stint, which was fabulous. But within that, I've coached many women too. And although I'm a business coach, we really start on the power that lies within each woman, and we build it from there. So we don't just start on systems and protocols and marketing strategies and things like that. We really start with the basis of what that woman's particular powers are and identifying those.
I love that. And to think of it, it's so much about the being side of who you are and how you show up in business. And that's why I like your there's so many different ways that you show your cleverness in all of your different businesses. So Feminine Wiles, Wiles is actually an acronym, and it has to do with like what is underneath the woman that then shows up in her business, right? Tell everyone what Feminine Wiles is based in.
The acronym stands for Women Inspired Leadership, Empowering Service, and
Mm,
and service is a big part of what I do in our community, and so that what you build yourself up to do should have an outlet of service to others, and
mm,
that's very
mm,
important, and that's why I named it.
love that.
I felt like I had to have an acronym for it because a lot of people, have a negative connotation to feminine wiles, and it's really not a negative thing. Back long ago, women were taught how to lead, how to get what they wanted, how to show up through their feminine wiles and their
Mhm.
feminine powers and stuff. And now that we've gotten into a lot of the masculine world in business, us women we have forgotten some of those, and we
Yeah.
forgot how to use them and to identify our powers, and we lead in a masculine way, which always doesn't maybe doesn't go well for us, at least 100% of the time.
Yeah, I totally agree. So what you're talking about is like allowing yourself to be authentic, to be womanly, feminine, powerful self, instead of doing things as we think we should do, maybe how other people show up, and for a lot of us who came like, a lot of the women that I work with, the story is, I was in corporate and had to do things a certain way in order to get where I wanted to go. And I think that's that old mentality of you have to do it the way the guys do it because that's who's in charge and who has the power to make the decisions. But as things grow, as we all and grow into, the 21st century, it's not always true anymore. And we can allow ourselves to be our authentic selves now.
Yes, absolutely, because we have gotten into the conforming aspect of ourselves.
Mhm.
And we're conforming and we're conforming. And conforming can get a little boring because there's a lot of cookie cutter type
Yeah,
ways that our business are done or how we relate to each other as women and what holds us back. And so I think that this is it's an aspect of ourself that really needs to be taught out there. And that's why I wanted to spearhead this way of thinking.
I love that. I love that. And you know, the women that are in our community, we talk a lot about being authentic, being true to your like the reason why you started your business and everything. Now you started your first business, like you said, 44 years ago and have, and added another one and added another, add another one last week, right? You keep adding them. But what I see in all of the stories that I've heard of you growing all of these businesses, even though most of them or all of them are with your husband as the partner and, big team and men and women and older and younger. And it's just the whole, like, I feel like your whole company is like a microcosm of the Monterey community.
Yes.
And so what I love about that though is again, it reminds us that there is no one way to do things, that when you see a need, like where can you dig into your superpower in order to help that need get resolved. And so, whether it's with disaster cleanup or any of your other, Ream company, big, all of that category of companies, or into your coaching, you see this need, that the women that you're working with in a coaching standpoint, like, they're passionate about what they're doing, but maybe they're trying to do things the way that they should, as opposed to the way that would be best for them. What I find for you, Teresa, is you have such a way of really seeing the individual person kind of better than they see themselves, especially at first, right? They need to learn to understand what is ticking inside them, but you see it. You have a superpower.
Yes, yes. Oh, thank you. I mean, I got tears in my eyes when you said that. I get these flashes of goosebumps when something's right. We talked about that before I came on.
Yeah.
But yes, I do have a innate power to see others, and sometimes I see their potential really well. And in fact, a while back, my team said, "You have to stop hiring. You can't be on the hiring squad anymore." And I said, "Why?" And they go, "Because you always hire for the potential." And sometimes the people don't really know they have that potential.
Mm.
And so I said, well, that's probably not going to happen. I'm still going to hire anyway. So
Well, but that's a really interesting perspective, right? So you see the potential. The person you're hiring may not realize that they have that potential. And so they might not be operating at where you actually need them in your company right now, right? Maybe 5 years from now, or a year from now, or 3 months from now, they'll be like, awesome. And you need them, like they need to be coachable in that sense, right? Maybe there's a lack of understanding if they're not aware of their own potential, maybe they won't hear the things you try to help them with as well, right? They might not be as coachable. That's a really interesting idea, that because as coaches, we all want clients who are coachable. Because if they're not
yes,
coachable, then
there's
it's not going to go very well,
no,
right?
and there's many layers that cover the
Mhm.
coachable person. So a lot of times you have to break through those layers. Some break through very quickly, others have really thick walls.
Mhm.
And you know what really helps a woman do have the breakthrough is identifying who they are. they don't have someone to lead them into the identification of their true selves and their true powers within them.
Mhm.
And so we fumble around, we're searching. How many times have you felt like you were just searching? You're searching and you don't even know what it's for sometimes, but it's
Yeah,
actually for your authentic self. It's that person that your soul knows who you are, but we've been conditioned so heavily and we
yeah,
haven't been taught, back in the really old days, women taught the younger women
right.
and they mentored them and they poured into them and they had their spiritual people that came and helped them in the village and a lot of us are just spinning tops on our own out there. That's why your gather community is such important work in the
Thank you.
world, because it gathers those women, those souls into it, and it helps us become who we are meant to be. And
Yeah,
so that's what the breakthrough of feminine wilds coaching does. It breaks through those layers, those like a tree, it has those layers and layers. And sometimes you just have to really see what's under there and then help them identify exactly what their qualities are.
yeah,
And that makes it easier for them because it's hard for us to go forward without a personal roadmap of who we are, a personal like balance sheet of who we are.
yeah.
We have those financially. Our bookkeeper gives us one. It shows our what we own, what we
Coming
owe.
in, what's going out.
Yes, and we don't know that about our own qualities, the qualities that are true just to ourselves, the qualities that we walk in the room with.
Hmm.
Have to help women identify who that is and those qualities, and then it's much easier for her.
Yeah, that's so interesting. I had two like very visual, right? I had two scenes kind of play out in my mind. One was when you were talking about the women used to mentor the younger women and the girls. I had this like Little House on the Prairie image in my mind that just showed up. And it was like everyone's hanging around, right? They're not driving off to karate or gymnastics or like all of the jobs and all of the busyness that's in the world right now. They were having conversations about their values and who they were as people and how they showed up in the
Yeah,
world, right? And so they would have those conversations over and over and over, and their persona, their personness would be developed like with clarity at an earlier age. But we are busy in the world now, and you have to decide that that's something that's important to you as opposed to just having it show up from everyday
absolutely. We
conversations.
used to be groomed, and we're
Yeah,
not groomed anymore. And a lot of us aren't. We don't even groom our children
right.
because society tells us where we don't know as much as we should.
Yeah.
And the children maybe should be groomed by the teachers or other people and so we even lost that connection sometimes with our children. I know for me, um, I lived it. I lost connections and I didn't trust myself on certain matters and stuff.
Right.
And now I do. And I've had this beautiful chance to raise another child and
In a
I
different
think of
way.
those things now.
Yeah, that must be so interesting. So you're raising your grandchild as your child, right?
Yes.
Like you are the primary, you're the mom, grandma.
Yes.
And that must be so interesting. Not many of us can say we have that experience to be able to say, I raised a generation and because we all learn from like my teenagers or 16 and 19, right? If I were to have a child now, how I would treat that child at 4, 5, 6, 8 years old versus what I did with these ones, it,
Yes.
it's a whole different, it's
You
a whole
know
different,
all the ins and outs now.
right? And of
Yes.
course, every child is different and every person is different. Like all of our experiences are different, but the whole idea of it's not really a second chance. It's just, like the whole idea of if I knew then what I know now. Someone was just saying this to me the other day, and I'm like, what do you mean if you knew that? Of course you didn't know then what you know now. Oh, it was my husband. Anyway, we'll talk about that offline. But the idea that, there's as an adult, for me, a 50 whatever year old woman at 20, I didn't know, nothing compared to what I know now. And life would be very different if I did, but of course it's never going to be, but I can decide to do it now and
Yes,
to
absolutely.
support the young people in my life as I would have wanted to be supported. And I think that's what coaching and, especially how you show up for the women in your life really, really works, is that we all are showing up for the people in our life as the person we always knew that we needed, so that we can pass it down to the next generation and pass it
Yeah.
down and pass it down, whether it's coach to client, friend to friend, parent to grandchild, whatever.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
that's the beauty of life.
Yeah, isn't it? It's so good. And the other thing so I was trying to think of what was there was the second image that came in my mind. Um, and I forgot what it was. So that's okay. Poof, gone.
Oh, that's too bad. I wanted to
I
hear.
know, I don't know what it was, but the first one was good. It took over all of it. So that's fine. Theresa, I know that part of what you do as a coach for women is you are helping them with their selves and their businesses. And of course, as a business owner that you've been in for all of these years, those of us who've been in business for a while, that's where we're getting a lot of little nuggets and stuff. How are you, like your programs that you're putting together for your coaching business? Are you starting with the like personal stuff and then moving into business? Or is that something you do more like on a one-on-one basis? Or what does that look like?
Well, it's different per woman and where she stands on what she's willing to work on. Some aren't
Ooh,
so
that's
willing.
good.
Yes, some aren't so willing to work on the woman right away. They'd rather start on the business. So we do an assessment on the business to see where the weak spots are, what might be driving her crazy, where money's flying out. And we look at that, but we quickly get to the woman.
You just find, because it's underneath all of it.
Well, there's usually something that's going on that's creating the problems in the.
Mm.
And so when it flips back to that, it usually flips back pretty quickly. Then we work on that component of that. And it could be something like one of my clients had, she just couldn't move forward in the business. She was running it with her husband, and it was just constant fighting and constant power struggles and stuff. And she wanted to set up certain systems so they wouldn't have to have power struggles. But it didn't work that way when we really delved into it. It worked in the fact that she really wasn't being his girlfriend, and they both felt it like their relationship was based on love, but it was turned all to business,
Hmm.
and it felt cold and stuff.
Yeah.
So we
Oh,
could
okay.
to that that thing that drew them in together, her being that girlfriend to him being that guy to her,
Uh-huh.
and it just kind of flipped everything around then. And then we were able to set up the systems. The systems
Yeah.
would have never worked on that such a shaky ground as their relationship was.
Got it. Well, so that's a really interesting perspective, right? A lot of us work on our own. My husband and I are not in business together. That is not something that either one of us is interested in doing. But for people who have business partners, there is a relationship there, whether it's a love relationship because you are spouses or partners, or it's a friend relationship because you have to be amicable, whether you were friends before or, whatever that looks like. So I love that you're looking at not only, that you have these systems to put in place, but it only works if there's like common ground and kindness between players and all of those different, whatever that relationship might end up being. Yes.
Yes, we're the complicated ones. The women are the complicated ones in the relationship. Men are very simplistic in their relationships, and
Straightforward.
they want to be treated nicely. They like good food. They love back rubs. I mean, there's easy ways to get on their, I mean, you can do anything you want when you get on their good side of things, and it's so easy to get on their good side. But we battle in a zone that's really not ours, and we come across in a way that they battle back, and then it becomes this stronghold.
Yeah. Yeah. Struggle, power struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because everyone just wants their own place in the world, right? And in the business and in the relationship. We all want to feel appreciated. We all want to feel like we're bringing value, that we're adding value to what's going on. And if there's a conflict, someone's not feeling valued.
Yes.
And it all is depend, like, how do you get to the middle ground where everyone can get along? I love that. Awesome. Well, so what I love about you being here with the Gather community is you have these perspectives from all of these years in business, in relationship with your husband. How long have you guys been married now?
47 years.
47 years.
47. Yes, we've been together
Awesome.
54.
Been together 54 years. So almost as long as I have been alive, my friend.
Oh, isn't that weird?
So, I mean, that's something, and when you let that something like that sink in, right? That the wisdom and the understanding and the experience that we all are bringing, that you're now bringing to the table from this perspective, is different than my perspective bringing to the table. That's what the Gather community is all about, that we all have these different places that we all come in together and blend and like give us each the opportunity to see things in a new way. So I want to thank you for being a part of our community so we can learn to see things more in your way, because when we see things in your way and my way and her way, then we all have a better understanding of what's possible in the world, because there is no one way. There's multiple ways and we're all here to learn from each other.
Yes, that's what
So
I love about
wonderful.
the gathered community. We go arm in arm. And when you're arm in arm with somebody, you're very strong.
Yep.
And
Oh
you
yeah, right.
build strength. And that's what I really always admired about your community, Tracy.
Thank you. Well, I'm so thrilled that you're here. I am really excited to get to share you with our people and with as many people as I can reach. And to have you've already jumped in to being, you were already on our roundtable. You're going to be speaking at our next summit. You're in it to win it, my friend. And I'm so excited to have you with us. Thank you so much for being here. And I can't wait to get this out to everyone. And we'll
Thank you.
talk to you again super soon.
Thank you.
Wow.